All right, so we're going to go over the practice test. If you still have questions, hopefully this will answer them. Let's see what we can do. So number one, the base of the figure. So you could pick any of the base edges here. I'm just going to pick this one right here. This one is the base, but I'm going to also highlight for us just in case you were wondering. I'm sorry, I really don't like that one. In case you were wondering what other options you could have on this one. You could also have, this could have been your base, or this one, or this one. So any edge that creates the base figure is considered a base. Not to be confused with the word edge. Edge is referring to the line where two faces meet. So there's an edge. This would be number 2. This would also be an edge. This one back here would be an edge, and this one over here would be an edge. So those are the edges, any place where the two faces meet. Then we have the height, which is given to us in red. I'm just going to trace over it, make it a little bit darker. That's our height. And finally, we have the slant height, which is a little bit different than the height. The slant height is the height along the top to the side there. I'm sorry, I forgot what color I was looking for. Green. All right, so this one right there, which is already given to us in green, this is our slant height. All right, moving on. The next one, we're looking for what shape is the face of the solid. This one would be a triangle. That's what we see when we look directly at it. This one, the base, this one is actually laying on its side. The base is considered the pentagon. Okay, so a base for a prism, there are 2 of them. We can see this one in the front and the one in the back, and then some space between them. So the 2 unique shapes, those are the bases. So this one is a pentagon. And then the base shape on, sorry about that, on this one, because the 2 bottom numbers here are matchy, both 18, make sure you can see that, then this would be a square for the base. Then it says draw the cross section. So if I slice my figure where that red line is on number 8, if that was where I sliced it, what shape would I see? I would see a rectangle. And on this one, if I sliced it with the green plane, if that was like a knife and I was slicing it, I would get, not those pictures, sorry, I would get, this one would give me a circle. Number 10, again, slicing it with that red cut out there, I would get a triangle. And this one with the white piece slicing it, I would get a square. Match the cross section. Before I jump into this one, we need a y-axis on this graph right here. It's missing. There's your y-axis. All right, now we can continue. So number 12, we're looking for what shape does it go with if I spin it. So it would go with shape B if I spin it on the x-axis. And to figure that out, you could try reflecting it. So if I draw in that reflection, that can maybe help you see it. Then for number 13, this one's maybe a bit difficult to see. It's actually C. I think probably it's not too hard to see it, but maybe understand how it works if I spin it on, sorry about that, the y-axis. That gives me kind of a bowl shape if I draw in the reflection. If it was spinning, it would create a bowl. And then number 14, this is going to be A, and that's spinning on the x-axis. On to number 15. This one, find the area of the regular polygon. We are going to use the formula A equals 1/2 ANS from your formula sheet. The things that I know that I have 5 sides. I know the side length is 3, and I also happen to know the apothem is 2.5. With that, I have all the information I need for my formula, so I'm going to plug it in, and I'm going to put that into my calculator. When you put it in your calculator, make sure that you do 0.5 or 0.5 for the 1/2. And I'm just typing that into my calculator really quickly, and I get area is 18.75. Don't forget your units. We have inches, and since we were finding area, that's going to be inches squared. So that would be your final answer for that one. On to number 16, this one, still finding the area of the regular polygon. So I'm going to, again, be using that formula, A equals 1/2 ANS. And when I look for things I know the number of sides is, I believe it's 9. I'll count it real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 sides. I know the side length is 8, and at that point I'm kind of out. So the thing that I need to know, I need the apothem from my formula. So to find the apothem, I'm going to draw my center in and create a nice little triangle here. And the reason I draw that center in is because I can use the degrees in a circle as if this was this figure is drawn inside a circle. Then I can say, hey, there's 360 degrees in a circle. And if I divide that into my 9 sections for my 9 sides, I get 40 degrees per section. So that means this angle right there, that angle is 40 degrees. But if I draw my apothem in, like so, that means each one of these smaller angles is only 20 degrees. I also know the side length is 8. When I draw that apothem, that splits it to 4 and 4. And there's my apothem I'm trying to figure out. So using some fabulous trig, I have the opposite is the 4 and adjacent is the A. So I'm going to use tangent. Tangent of 20 equals opposite 4 over adjacent A. I'm going to solve for A by putting a 1 under my tangent, cross multiply, and I get A tangent 20 equals 4. To solve for the A, I'm going to divide by tangent 20, and I get A equals, and there's where I need my calculator. So if you're using a regular calculator, just type in 4 divided by tangent 20. If you're using an iPhone or other cell phone calculator, you got to be careful. Make sure that you know how your calculator does it. So I'm using an iPhone, so I'm going to do 4 divided by, then I'm going to press 20, tangent, and then equals. And I get 10.99 if I round it to 2 decimal places. Then I have all the stuff I need to plug into the formula. A equals 1/2 ANS, so A equals 1/2, 10.99. Number of sides was 9, and side length was 8. So then I'm going to multiply that out. I get, again, 1/2 is 0.5 in the calculator. And just multiplying it out really quickly, I get the area equals 395.64. Round to 2 decimal places, that is rounded properly. And we don't have specific units given, so we would say units squared. Again, finding area is units squared. Number 17, this one we just learned recently. When we have similar figures, we're given the scale factor of 3 over 2. In this case, they're telling us big to small, so we're going to maintain that pattern for the entire problem. Even though we did small to big in most of our problems, this one is set up big to small. So we're going to keep that. If I want the volume scale factor, I simply take my original scale factor and I'm going to cube top and bottom. So volume is cubed, so I'm going to cube them both. So I get 27 over 8. I'm going to use that to build a proportion. Whoopsie. So I have 27. Move that up a little bit. 27 over, apparently 28. Sorry, 27 over 8 equals, and then I'm going to set up what I'm finding. It says find the volume. So I want the volume of the big one, which is this guy. So following my big to small convention, I have the bigger numbers on top, smaller on the bottom. I need to know the volume of the big cylinder. I know the volume of the small one. Then I would do some cross multiplying. So 35 times, 35 times 27 is 945 equals 8x. And then divide both sides by 8. and I get x equals 118 point, again rounding to probably